Yeah.
We're
There we go.
reminding
Okay.
people.
We've done this several times.
Yeah,
now.
so
At least
apparently
that
we
time.
keep forgetting to turn on the
We
mic
keep
because we're
forgetting to-
idiots.
Because we're idiots.
No
So-
red dots.
So
Yeah.
what we were previously saying
Right.
is we lied,
We kidnapped
trapped Jim, and now
those
he's
of
going
you
to
who do not
tell
lip
you.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Jim's going to tell you to remind you who he is from Around Grandfather Fire and what he does. So please continue.
All right, so
Or please start over.
Please start over.
I'm Jim Two Snakes. I have been a practitioner of shamanism for a number of years, specializing in Peruvian shamanism, especially the Karo traditions, the Kip traditions of the high mountains of the Andes. And I just got done doing the fire ceremony for everybody tonight. I do fire ceremonies at several different events. I do them for people personally. I do shamanic cleansing, some mentoring and teaching. So that's about it.
Very
That's
cool.
it.
That was great.
Plus you do Around Grandfather
It was
Fire.
Plus
You do
the Around
Around
Grandfather Fire
Grandfather
podcast. with
Yep.
Sarah.
Yep. And now we tried to explain a little bit about what the Caro Fire ceremony was tonight.
Right.
Okay.
We described it as we understood
described
it.
it as we understood it. Could you give a better
Sure.
definition?
Hi,
The fire
Susan.
ceremony is one of reciprocity with Mother Earth. You're basically asking her to take the things that you don't need in your life anymore. In the Peruvian traditions, that would be known as hucha, or heavy energy. And it's thought that it's just there in the Peruvian traditions. There's no heavy or good or evil. There's either heavy or light, right? So there's stuff that you need in your life, or there's stuff that's a burden to carry. So the fire ceremony is to let go of the stuff that's a burden and to bring new blessings into your life. So it's great for asking for new jobs, relationship changes, all sorts of things like that.
Gotcha. And it was a very beautiful ceremony. We all think we got the chant wrong.
Yeah, I'm 100% certain I got the words wrong.
Yeah.
But we did the best we could.
110% sure.
And
I
we
listened to
got
it go
there
around
in
like 5 times before I was willing to try saying it. And at some point I just had to like commit to whatever syllables I thought I was hearing
Well,
and
the funny
move
part
on.
is it's not even a Peruvian chant,
Oh, okay.
right? In Peru, they would not do the chanting at all because
Okay.
they're really used to getting into altered states all by
Okay.
themselves.
Ah.
All they might use is a rattle or some humming and that sort of thing.
Okay.
The chant is actually Tlingit, Indian, Native American of the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And ironically enough, for a fire ceremony, it is a water song.
Oh.
It is a
Huh.
song about returning to the waters of the mother's womb.
Very cool.
But we in our society need a chant
Mhm.
in order
Right.
to make the little monkey mind go away long
Right.
enough.
Something to
Because
focus.
eventually, your brain starts off going, "What the hell is this chant?"
What
And
does it
then
mean?
your
How do I
brain
say it?
starts,
Yeah.
did I say it right?
What are those words?
And then the brain gets annoyed that you're saying the chant. And eventually the brain says, "I'm just going to shut up and go away for a while." And that's when you get the work done.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Now, when you called in the animal spirits, is that
Yeah,
something
the-
that's Peruvian?
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, who were those spirits, if we may ask?
Hatuna Maru is the great serpent, literal translation, great serpent, and she is spirit. Generally speaking, resides in the south. She now, depending on who you talk to and what sort of teachings they had, she is sometimes associated with fire. I associate her more with healing, and in a lot of aspects, she's associated with the floor of the Amazon, with the Amazon River.
That makes sense.
And then Otorongo, the jaguar. The jaguar is the fearless warrior. She helps us to just be brave enough to get the work done, essentially.
I really felt that.
Oh, I love Otorongo. She
Well,
has
and
been with me for a long
It
time.
didn't
so
hurt that you were facing us when you called the Jaguar, so that helped.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Jaguar. She's amazing, and because I've always liked cats anyway.
Right.
Perfect. And so to have a big one just kind of come up and nuzzle on you
Yeah.
and say, "Boom, boom, over there, human," is kind of okay. You go that way. That's what. And then Siwar Kenti is the royal hummingbird, and she is the messenger between the worlds. So just like a hummingbird takes a lot of nectar from many flowers, she helps us kind of weave together all these energies. And she's seen as a spirit of artists, especially because she
Okay.
likes bright colors and everything else. But she takes she carries prayers to all the different realms and worlds.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And then the other side of that, this is interesting about my lineage, how I was taught. Not all lineages have this one. A lot of them just have hummingbird. But the way I was taught, there was also dragon as well, one
Right.
cowrie. And so it's the rare direction that has two spirits called in that way. And Wanakauri is in some ways the opposite side of the same coin as the hummingbird.
Okay.
So while hummingbird flips around a little bit, if you think of a hummingbird like an artist, we all know those artists that somehow last minute they manage to make it all together and be beautiful. Wanakauri is the other side of that coin, where she is very deliberate and plans things and plans ahead, and she's very concerned with doing things the right way. And they both arrive at the same place, but by different methods.
Okay. Very cool.
And then also in the north, even though where we're at, the spirits that I'm calling to probably are actually from Michigan, that almost due directly south to the coast.
Right.
Right.
I tend to call them in the north, and that's the ancestors in the lineage of teachers, and also the Apu. And the Apu are the mighty mountains. And in Peru, there's several different mountain peaks, and depending on your lineage and tradition, which mountains you call to, even vary. But here in Michigan, what I've been doing,
As we've discussed
yeah,
before.
in my life, is translating that to the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
So around this area, Lake Superior is the boss.
Mhm.
Superior tells all the other lakes what's going on, all the rivers and everything else. And my students and I, we've been exploring for many years. In Peru, you would have a real good connection with one of the mountains, and they're used for very specific things. And in here, my students have been exploring with me for years, like which lake is good for what issue and what kind of energy it has. And so we've been exploring that. And then lastly, of the animal spirits was Kunto, condor. And here in North America, we tend to use eagle a little bit more. Just like instead of jaguar, a lot of traditions might tend to switch over to bear. Kind of the same, similar sort of energy.
Right.
But in South America, they do eagle and condor, but the condor is the main one. She's amazing because she has that long range perspective, right? The thing about condors is they're like a lot of those other birds where they soar really high, and so it's wingtip to wingtip with the Great Spirit. And she also, because a condor has this remarkable ability to take just the worst things, right? These are dead things. And yet somehow she loves them enough. She consumes them in order to help fly high again.
Yeah.
And so she's a wonderful spirit to work with as well. The heaviest sort of energy that you can deal with in life is no problem for condor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now you made an interesting comment at the end of the ceremony. You said that the fire that we created with our heavy energy was really hot and powerful.
It was very eager. So every fire is a little bit different, right? And they all have a slightly different personality. And some of them burn hotter than others. I swear I haven't had one this hot in years.
Wow.
So people were really putting a lot in, which is really, really awesome.
Really engaging, really doing some work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the fire, if you notice how quickly it leapt to life, that means when people were chanting, they were really welcoming it in. They were putting their energy into it. So the fire was like ready to go. It was responding quickly. So
That's cool.
it was all really good signs for people that are looking for that change of transformation.
Very cool. Well, we certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We got a lot out of it. I think all three of us did.
Yep.
And we appreciate you sitting here
Yeah,
and
no
explaining
problem.
it a
Chatting
little
with
bit
us.
more.
Yeah.
Chatting with us.
We need to get you on the podcast more often.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I really theoretically am not that far away.
Right? Like we
Right,
can figure it out.
yeah.
We'll figure it
Yep.
out.
I used to head over your way of the state several times a year. That's actually where my teacher did a lot of the teaching for us,
Okay.
was at the Hawk Sanctuary out where tourism.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I'm very
And
familiar with it.
Jim will be on the ritualist panel that we
Yes.
just talked
Yes.
about, Phoenix
Tomorrow.
Rising.
So leave questions.
So
for
leave
Jim.
questions for
Leave
Jim.
questions
Yep.
for Jim.
Yep. So, all right. Are we done?
I think
I think we're done.
I think we're
Unless
done.
Susan wants
Thank you
to.
very much.
Susan, did you want to talk to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Appreciate that.
All right. That's it from us from Michigan Pagan Fest. We'll
Now
see
we
you in the
really are
morning.
done for the night. Goodbye. We'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow.
This is for real.
Right? They
Yeah.
can't trust us now.